I got screamed at for using this, and I'm not cheating. This is completely fair. It's just the people that I'm playing with don't know what game we're playing. Do you ever play unfair games? Like rock, paper, scissors, but with no scissors for your opponent. If your opponent doesn't have scissors, all you have to do is pick paper and you cannot lose. If your opponent picks paper, you tie and you go again. If your opponent picks rock, they lose. Does a game need to be fair to be fun? Does a company need to put out fair games to be successful? The only way for your opponent to win is if you pick scissors and they pick rock at the exact same time. If you keep picking paper and they pick rock, they lose. If your opponent only has two options, you have a huge advantage. You control the tempo. If you choose to, you can never lose. This is a game, and there is a word for it. Sun Tzu was a pre-Skibidi era philosopher, author, and consultant. I like to think of him as a slightly older and less controversial version of Kanye West. Sun Tzu also authored a few books, specifically on the topic of the role of fair play in a successful business. He was famous for advising CEOs and executive teams of his time through difficult situations to success and ample profits. Riot Games is about 20 years old as of the recording of this video, so I think it's fair to say that they've been around for quite a while now. For comparison, Riot Games is about the same size as Blizzard Entertainment, which is a healthy size for a 20-year-old company. Hold on, you're probably saying. Okay, they're a successful company, we believe you, but can we have a little bit more? I got you, fam. Okay, so let's do some comparisons and let's do some gooder examples. Outside of entertainment, Riot Games is about the same size as Papa John's or Wendy's for all my fast food loving Americans. Their biggest game is called League of Legends, and it's kind of hard to describe. If I had to describe it as something, I'd say it's something similar to football. It's huge. So every year they do this World Series where they go around and all of the nations send a team up and they all compete against each other. And then at the end of the competition, there's a winner crowned and somebody gets to be champion for the year. It's wild. They fill up whole stadiums with this. It's very much like football. It's like it's same size, same feel, same vibe, and they go absolutely crazy with the music. The music thing is a little bit hard to explain. Just know that Riot goes way too hard in the music department. So years before K-pop Demon Hunters, Riot was doing something called KDA, and it's sort of rightly called the predecessor to K-pop Demon Hunters. On YouTube, they both represent well. They're both really close to each other. And yeah, if you need more proof, we've got baddies fussing over instant noodles, and we've got baddies fussing over laundry. Does this seem similar? And speaking of K-pop Demon Hunters, if you've seen K-pop Demon Hunters, you've probably been on Netflix. And if you've been on Netflix, you've probably seen Arcane, which is one of the Riot shows. So yeah, Riot, even if you haven't heard of the company name or played any of their games, you've probably seen something that they've touched. They're everywhere. They're a global, very successful company. But we're not here for Netflix. Let's start talking about accidents that broke accidentally.
We got the dude with the axe, the freak with the fur. He got the whole club in the lantern. She hit the flow.
Tusco. Yeah, that's exactly how you say it. That's what the company said. It's exactly like every other word with an X in the second place. Like oxygen, acid, ass. Like, let me ask you something. Tusco. The game is called a tag fighter, which just means it's like Street Fighter, except you have to use tag team wrestling rules. So you pick two guys to fight, and then two guys fight in the middle of the ring. So the guys that are on the outside, they can jump in for a little bit, but they can't stay in for too long. Those are just the rules. And then if the guy inside, he gets tired, he can tag in his partner. And then the partner gets to fight in the middle. And that's just how it goes. And they go either until time runs out or, one guy beats the other guy, right? That's just how it goes. Because this is a game for fairness, all of the characters you have to win 2 interactions against before you can knock them out. And I think the idea here is that, okay, yeah, if somebody gets the best of you and starts hitting you, at least you get a chance to have a second wind and at least try to fight back before you get knocked out. Otherwise, it would just be way too frustrating. So just doing the math, each side has 2 characters, and you've got to win 2 interactions, which adds up to 4. But there's another interaction you have to win. Each team gets access to something called a break bar. So every round you can just stop whatever's going around. If you're getting the bad side of an interaction, you can just stop everything and say,
Not yet.
with those 5 interactions in mind, let's now take a look at a completely real, like captured in-game, completely fair, following the rules, no shenanigans interaction. And spoiler alert, it's fair, but it looks kinda wrong. Now I won't argue with you. It looks like the clown girl took an express train to Pound Town here, but that's actually not what happened. She lost 2 interactions, and according to the game rules, that is completely fair. Okay, there's one thing that I need to touch on here. In 2's code, there's something you can do called air teching. You see, if you regain control of your character in the air because the other guy has to win 2 interactions against you, you start doing something called air teching. So your feet aren't on the ground, but you can move forward, you can move backwards, you can pop straight up, or if you want to, you can return to the ground, and that's called air teching. The problem with this is that 3 of these options are effectively the same. So first off, if you go back or you go up, you end up in the exact same place. Just because you're in the corner, so going back is exactly the same as going up. So that's not great. If you go forward, you sort of do a jump over the robot's head, except the problem is that in all 3 of these options, the robot's just gonna jump up and throw you. So for the up and the back, the robot just jumps up and throws you. If you jump over the robot's head, the robot turns around and then throws you. And that's the beauty of this. The robot doesn't even have to jump. The robot can just wait till you flip and then land on the ground, and then he's gonna throw you. And in all these situations, you end up losing the second interaction and you're out. So that ain't good. So the only safe option here is to return to the ground. And think about it. Does this sound familiar at all? We've got a situation where your opponent really only has 2 options, and you know what those 2 options are. So if you are picking paper because you know paper is going to win most of the time and it's safe, if your opponent doesn't pick paper on their side, they're just gambling. Like picking rock is crazy talk. But that's not even the broken part. So if you go into the training mode, Riot tells you that each of these interactions, if you add them up together, doesn't even add up to 900 points of damage. And the clown girl has 950 points of health. So this shouldn't knock her out on paper according to the training mode. Except we've seen that's just not true. So if you're a diligent clown girl and you go into the training mode and you do some research and you say, oh, okay, well, it looks like even if I lose these 2 interactions, I'm not knocked out, so I'm safe. Except that's not the case. Riot lied to you. And they seem to be totally okay with that. And this Sun Tzu guy we've been talking about, he wasn't just a writer and a fashion mogul. He was a advisor on war. So he wrote a book called The Art of War, and he's got some real interesting things to say about this. He basically was not advocating for fairness. He was talking about just winning. Riot seems to be on the side of Sun Tzu here, and I think it's pretty clear what's going on. So if you look at the situation and you go into the training mode, I think the rules say that the training mode should give you accurate numbers, right? They should tell you exactly what's happening in the game. And if they cared about your feelings and they were worried about your heart, it would do that. but Riot's own song from KDA explicitly addresses this.